During the opening credits of our narrative, we see lifeless people lying in a house. We watch one of the girls running away outside. She keeps running until she supposedly turns into her older self, walking quickly in the hallway of a hospital. Time has moved on, and whatever hardships the girl had to face since that terrifying event, she was allowed to survive them to this point. She is Kate, our protagonist, a doctor. After that, we see the parents of a young boy beside him as he lies on a gurney, being taken away by personnel. The parents are instructed to stay behind while their son gets taken elsewhere. At her home, Kate lies in bed with her husband Alex. He tells her some people are coming over tomorrow, to which she responds if he's sure he wants to tell them something. Alex tells her that something looks serious. Additionally, he's had enough of hiding it from them. So far, we don't know what the couple is talking about. The next scene has Kate driving to the hospital, where there are numerous amounts of protesters. Being a doctor, she has her privileged parking spot. She walks into a room that says, "Return Unit." In there, Kate comes to the boy we saw previously. She teases that she has a secret for him before telling him that he's getting out. To that, he behaves positively surprised. We witness that the doctor cares for her patients because she hugs the boy, saying she will miss him. In another room, she talks to his parents about the protocol they should follow to take care of their son. The mother shows concern toward her son having to inject him with something every day of his life. But Kate tries to assure her that becoming one of the returned is a privilege, not a curse. The mom soon gets angry, telling Kate that she doesn't know what it's like to love someone with this condition. Again, we don't yet know what exactly this condition is. The father asks Kate if it is true that there isn't any more of a certain stock left. The doctor assures him that's a rumor. She concludes the meeting by saying their son has been saved. They should not worry. We then see Alex playing the guitar in a classroom, where he is the teacher. He calls on one of his students to come play, saying he cannot. The student also jokes that he looks like one of the returned when he tries to play. Due to that, Alex tells him to get out. For some reason, it bothers him to hear someone speak ill of people with this condition. Upon driving home, he sees something much worse than a mockery of it. He sees graffiti on the bridge that states the returned should lose their lives. At the hospital, Kate passes the entrance and exit doors to see the persistent protesters behind them. She comes to a certain nurse to give her an envelope with money. After counting the amount, the nurse takes something out to give to Kate. The doctor has to collect it stealthily. As she drives home, the radio informs her the attacks against the returned have gotten worse. Once she comes home, she places the item she bought from the nurse in a tray. We see many of them there. Later, they have their friends over for dinner. The man, Jacob, gets off a phone call before announcing that his wife, Amber, is going on a national book tour. Amber starts telling her friends that her book is about a man who finds the concept of passing away inconceivable. He thinks something will happen to save him. The irony is that doctors discover a fatal tumor inside him. This causes the man to think fate is insulting him. To cope with it, he eliminates one person every day. If he has direct contact with lifelessness, he thinks he can understand it. Unlucky for him, he never acquires this understanding. Alex remarks it's an interesting story, but too sadistic for him. Then he says the story somewhat fits the reason for having them over tonight. Suddenly, their excitement turns to worry when Jacob asks what is wrong. Alex starts telling a story of how he entered a store to buy a guitar. In there, he found a man suffering downstairs. In his attempt to help, Alex got slightly bitten by him to the point of bleeding. After that, he began to have many bad symptoms, which he explained to a doctor. He was taken to a military hospital. A military official told Alex that the latter almost didn't survive. Afterward, he was moved to a regular hospital in Kate. 6 years ago, he was returned. Alex tells his friends this vital information only now because the stocks might be running low. The friends don't know how to respond. The next scene has Alex coming to a clinic that is guarded by military personnel. He has to show them a certain ID card to get clearance. Coming to a doctor, he receives something from her. She tells him she'll see him next month. The moment he sits in his car, something strikes his rear window. It prompts him to chase the kids who did it. One of them falls, allowing Alex to catch up to him. He lies there with a slingshot in his hand, telling Alex he just wants to be normal. The man doesn't do anything to him, so the boy runs away. This is the kind of backlash people like him have to deal with due to being one of the returned. We then see Kate at a conference, talking about the returned phenomenon. She says that if a member of the returned isn't injected within 36 hours, the spread of the virus becomes irreversible. We learn that since its appearance, it has been responsible for about 100 million people losing their lives worldwide. 10 years after it brought this catastrophe to humanity, the return protein was discovered to fight it. The virus never goes away, it is currently incurable, but it can be controlled if they act fast enough. The solution Kate mentions is the creation of a special synthetic protein. All of this causes a man to stand up, saying the returned are time bombs. Until a cure is found, they are a big problem. If they miss just one dose of their treatment, there is no going back. Furthermore, maintaining the treatment is expensive, and it has to be maintained for one's entire life. The man proposes that the return live outside of their cities. To retaliate against him, Kate sarcastically proposes to get rid of smokers, diabetics, and the obese, belonging to the last category. The man gets her point, making him sit down. Following this, Alex goes to a gas station to fill up on gas. Inside, his returned ID card accidentally falls on the counter. The cashier sees it, even handing it back to Alex. Given the face the man forms, we see it troubles him. Alex comes home to discover that his wife is working late. He fills up their tray with the treatment bottles. Soon we see him inject with one of them. At the hospital, Kate sits in her room with a nurse. Since they both hear a loud noise, Kate goes to open the door. Upon opening it, she gets horridly surprised to see several masked people with guns. They order her to get against the wall. They also hold an injured guard, who they knock down. Kate's access card gets taken too. We learn quickly they are people against the returned. One of them calls the people zombies. Kate is brave enough to argue against him, even though he wants to shoot her. He dares for her to stand up to him again, so she does. Lucky for her, he doesn't take her life. Instead, they have to leave. After that, Kate rushes with the nurse to the return unit to see the grisly side of all the return they're being. Seeing it makes the nurse lose consciousness. Then Kate comes home to a sleeping Alex. She now knows his life is in even more danger if people find out about him. Therefore, she sits beside him to cry. He wakes up, hugging his wife. During the day, the couple watches the news regarding the returned. One man mentions a certain case where a man decided to stop taking his treatment. In less than 24 hours, he attacked 5 people. They all had to be, according to him. Kate is angered by hearing this, to the point of calling him a psychopath. Again, Alex has to comfort her. In bed, Kate gets a message from the young lady who works at her hospital. She wants to meet Kate at the former's home address. Alex proposes to go with her, yet she says she should go alone. She does not want people to know about him in such harsh times. Shortly after, she arrives at the apartment. Inside, the lady counts the money Kate gave her. She asks Kate if anyone saw her enter, to which Kate says she doesn't think so. Giving the doctor another treatment tube, she informs her they cannot do this at the hospital anymore. She can only take a few tubes at a time. She also says this week, they haven't received their stock from the lab. Other hospitals have not received theirs either. Kate then pleads for the lady to get more tubes next week. She will pay her whatever it costs. Assuring the doctor that she will try, she says it will cost 4 times more. Before Kate leaves, she gets asked if the treatment is for her. The question prompts her to slightly nod her head. In the next scene, Alex meets Jacob outside. It turns into them sitting in a bar, talking. In a short time, Jacob suddenly hugs him. Alex wonders why he received it. The reason is for what Alex told him the other day. We learn they have known each other for 25 years, and Jacob tells Alex he is still the same man to him. He doesn't care about Alex being one of the returned. The scene concludes with Jacob saying he is always there for him. At another time, Kate enters her home, hearing some noise. She soon witnesses the horrific sight of her husband struggling with a man in a maintenance outfit on the floor. Alex ends up. Of course, this shocks Kate. In just a few seconds, she went from everything being rather normal to witnessing a murder in her home that could have easily gone in the other direction, of Alex losing his life. The man informs her that this intruder told him he needed to check something in the house. As they are cleaning the mess, Alex wants to call the police, but Kate advises against it because the lawman will ask questions. They place the man Alex eliminated into a big suitcase, which soon gets placed in their car. This suitcase gets dumped into the water near a power plant. Then we learn from the news that the return should not be alarmed because the cut in supplies is temporary. Also, some treatment centers have been set on fire by anti-return groups. We see the police dealing with riots on the streets. After that, the couple goes to a motel to hide themselves. They have decided to be undetected for some time. Of course, they brought their treatment tubes with them. Alex tells her they have 114 of them. In the morning, they eat at a restaurant, and their friends knock on the window. To their surprise, shortly after, they join them with some unsettling news. The news is that several returned people have been exterminated at 2 hospitals. Perhaps even worse is that there is a new rule demanding that the returned hand themselves over to a surveillance center. Any who do not will be arrested. While they are getting this news, all of them are already elsewhere, witnessing people exiting a bus to enter such a center. Kate and Alex have decided against this, so they follow their friends to their house. The first thing we see there is Jacob being angry with someone on the phone. Afterward, Amber tells Kate that Alex is lucky to have her. Being a writer, she says she notices certain qualities in people. One of the things she noticed is that Kate does not let Alex feel sorry for himself. She also doesn't treat him like an invalid. When all 4 of them watch a movie on a laptop, the lights suddenly go out. They're lucky to have some lit candles surrounding them. Jacob uses this spooky situation to jokingly ask Alex if he took his shots today. Alex continues the joke by acting like a zombie. Then they just relax, with Alex playing his guitar. On the next day, Jacob reads the newspaper outside. He notices something in it that makes him rush back in. We don't see how he informed his friends, yet we see Alex holding the newspaper that states the military is now using on the citizen. They are entering people's houses. This causes him to want the gun, which they did not bring. She tells him he doesn't even know how to shoot one. Any idiot can shoot a gun, he replies. He also thinks they aren't entirely safe there, because they are too close to the city. Following this discussion, the couple returns to their home to collect the gun. Once Kate opens the front door, 2 guys stand there to surprise her. Unfortunately, they are almost the worst people she could encounter at this time, detective. The one who starts talking says he is Detective Call, while the one with him is Anderson. Call tells her they are there to see Alex. They give her a search warrant before letting themselves in. Kate lies that Alex isn't there. Thankfully, He hears this from the other room. Kate has to add another lie by saying he left her 3 weeks ago. As they search, Alex hides in the closet. He stands there with his gun, perhaps ready to shoot if need be. A bad situation soon becomes worse when Kate sees a piece of clothing sticking out of the closet door. It might attract attention. In a few seconds, that's exactly what it does. Anderson starts walking toward it, prompting Kate to anxiously say that she shot him in the head. She adds that Alex ran out of doses. Call wants to know why she didn't take him to the surveillance center. On top of him not wanting to go, she says they would have let him pass away there, surrounded by strangers. She finds out that she is probably in trouble due to her action. However, the case is off the jurisdiction of the detectives if they see Alex's body, so she starts taking them to a body. The scene changes to Alex coming to the gas station again. Entering the store, he sees no one is there. He hears something in another room, making him go in there with his gun equipped. He sees the disturbing sight of a man. There is also meat on a platter beside him, like it was prepared for him. This zombie was being kept. He then starts coming at Alex, though the chains prevent him. Alex's only choice is to shoot the zombie in the head. Back with the detectives, Kate has taken them to the water near the power plant. They have people who retrieve the suitcase the couple dumped there earlier. The man who opens it says this water decomposes bodies quickly. The details he can give from looking at the body is that it's a male in his 30s who got shot in the head. This certainly looks good for Kate. The detectives consider it good too, letting her off. Later, she rides in a car with Anderson, who tells her he thinks she did the right thing. At their friend's house, Alex tells Jacob that the lady who works with Kate managed to get them 60 more doses. Therefore, they will leave in the morning to collect them. After that, they will go as far away as they can. Jacob tells him they don't have to do that, but Alex thinks it's better that way. Afterward, Amber and Jacob learn from the news that the synthetic protein that should cure this virus has not been synthesized yet. This worries them. Upon morning's arrival, Kate goes alone to pick up the treatment tubes. She turned off Alex's alarm so he wouldn't come with her. The next scene has Kate coming to her coworker's flat to ring the doorbell. Since no one answers after a few more rings, she knocks on the door to discover it's open. Entering the apartment, she calls out to the lady. The place looks empty. Soon enough, she becomes shocked to find her lying on the floor, possibly lifeless. What must shock her even more is that she finds what looks like Amber's fingernail near her hand. It causes her to imagine Amber entering the flat to strangle her. Of course, she calls Alex immediately, urging him to check on their doses. He rushes to the room they're supposed to be in, only to be woefully surprised by their absence. He finds one dose standing somewhere, with a note nearby stating, "I'm sorry." Kate is forced to drive back, knowing all the tubes are gone. We see Jacob elsewhere, opening the case of tubes he stole with his wife. He places one of them into a syringe and sees Alex calling him on his phone. Then we hear Alex telling Kate that what Jacob and Amber did to them isn't that different from what they have been doing. Kate's helpful coworker was taking doses that belonged to others. After those words, we observe Jacob injecting Amber with the syringe. At a different time, Jacob finally calls Alex. The latter demands to know what's going on. He yells with anger, prompting his past friend to urge him to calm down. If he doesn't, Jacob will hang up. He starts by saying that had he been the infected one, he wouldn't have stolen the case of tubes. But since it was for his wife, he didn't have a choice. All Alex wants is just a few doses, for he has less than a day to remain a human. They don't even have to meet. Jacob could simply leave the doses somewhere. Alas, Jacob objects to that, because any amount he gives away takes that exact amount of life away from Amber. The man apologizes before hanging up. Following this, Kate drives to the hospital. The protesters are still outside, not going anywhere. We should recognize the parents of the young boy standing there too. Meanwhile, Alex walks around in a hardware store. Kate talks to her boss, David. Supposedly, she told him everything. He responds that she should have told him that she was so involved in all this. Now, he can't help her. This causes the desperate lady to say she's going to a military hospital. David warns her that she will be arrested. Plus, he says there are no doses there. Realizing there's no way out of this suffocating situation, Kate submits to crying. David cannot see his best doctor like this. He tells her to come with him. Then Alex occupies his guitar studio with the supplies he got from the store. He makes a room for himself, with padded walls and chains to hold him. After restraining himself there, he tosses the key for the padlock several feet away. Back at the hospital, David takes Kate to a special room where he opens a case to reveal dozens of treatment tubes. He says there are 50 days of life there. He can only hope that everything will become good before those doses run out. Kate shows the man her gratitude. She walks inside the parking garage, calling Alex. He rejoices in hearing the great news. As she tells him, we see the father of the boy hiding, hearing what she says. When she settles into her car, he breaks the passenger window to try to steal her new case. Attempting to retaliate, Kate isn't capable of holding him off. The determined man manages to steal the case and run with it. While he does that, she drives after him. Since he's on foot, he can access more places, allowing him to turn into the lot of cars where she can't follow. However, he comes out from the other side in time to get slammed by her car. The incredible downside to this is that this results in the case of doses receiving the damage too. They all lie there, decorating the pavement with their shattered state. Kate despairingly searches for any tube that might still be intact. Yet her horrible luck does not grant her even one. She has to go home empty-handed a second time. Driving back, she remembers the incident from her past, how it all began. She was forced to shoot a relative. She then sits in the padded room with Alex. He tells her he's having a hard time breathing. He also wants her to leave, something she simply cannot do. For some reason, the poor man was cheated twice. Fate is not giving him a chance to keep going. After that, Kate remembers how her mother wanted. Not being able to, the young girl ran away. We see Alex playing his guitar with her. Soon he has to put it down. He starts coughing up blood prior to giving her the gun. Of course, she is crying through all of this. It doesn't take long for us to hear the gunfire. At a different time, Kate leaves the hospital. Once she gets near her car, David catches her. We notice fireworks are going off. He asks her if she heard the news, that the synthetic protein has been created and it works. He expresses how glad he is, but Kate is in immense sorrow. She even falls to the ground to cry. All she can do is remember herself as a young girl, running away from her house. Months later, Kate occupies another house while she is pregnant. She looks at a map on her wall that has Jacob's and Amber's pictures on it. There are also times and locations written there for where and when Amber's book signings will occur. We know she plans to take their lives due to them essentially taking her husband's.